call the meeting to order. And our first order of business is we have a guest speaker,
which is Paul Hatch and Whitney from Homeland Security. They're involved with emergency management. Paul.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for being here. It's been a while since I've been here in the hall to talk to the folks from Dorchester. My role with emergency management is I'm a field rep for Grafton County, which means I work with all the communities in Grafton County, anything to do with emergency management, whether it's grant programs or training or response to disasters or recovery from disasters. When I first came on board back in 2005, it was very shortly after that you guys had the flooding and the bridge washed out on Province Road, and I worked with John Franz and I worked with Artie Burdette. The reason we're here tonight is the select board asked us to come and talk about FEMA grants. There's a couple of FEMA grants for hazard mitigation that the town could potentially apply for to help replace the bridge and some culverts on Province Road. And we just want to give a brief overview about what the grant program is and how it works. It's the town's decision if they want to pursue the grant. We recommend the town always explore all options. You decide what's best for your community and what you can afford and what you want to do, and take it from there. The two grant programs in hazard mitigation, the first one's called pre-disaster mitigation, and basically it's a 75-25 grant. The feds pay 75%, the town comes up with the other 25. Now that 25 doesn't necessarily have to be cash. If your local highway department helps contribute work on the project, their time, their labor, their equipment can be put towards the cost of the town's contribution. So we call that an in-kind match. Because you already have your people, you have your equipment. So there may be some of the work that they can do on the project. That grant comes out once a year. It's federal money. Our agency administers the program on behalf of FEMA to the towns. The only problem with the grant is it is nationally competitive. So your project's in there being competitive, weighed against all the other projects nationwide. The people that are reviewing them are road engineers. There's some environmental people. There's some historic preservation people. There's a whole team that evaluates them and scores them. And then, like with most grant programs, they have this many applications, they have this much money, so they have to kind of prioritize which ones get funded. And even if you have a great project, and maybe you don't make it in the first year, that doesn't mean the town can't reapply in subsequent years. It's still a good project. It's just, you may have to wait till you get enough money to help fund it. By the way, I have a couple brochures that explain these programs. I'm going to leave them up here on the table. Anybody's welcome to have them and take a look at them. The other program is called the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, or HMGP. That one we don't get every year. That happens, when we get this money, the state has had a disaster. We've had a flood, we've had a snowstorm, or a windstorm, or some type of disaster. FEMA's come in, they've helped the towns rebuild, and then when all is said and done, they add up all the expenses, we get an extra 15% of money on top of that we can dole out to communities for mitigation projects. The good news is that money is only competitive in-state. You're only competing with the communities here in New Hampshire. Of course, we don't know when the next disaster is going to be. You could have none, you could have one. One year we had 8 disasters. So it's above nature when those disasters happen. Again, it's 75-25 money. And there is an application process that you have to go through with the state and with FEMA. We recommend that the town go out, if you're going to do a FEMA grant, that you hire an engineer and have all the engineering work done ahead of time, because FEMA likes a nice, neat package. The engineer will look at what they call hydrology. How much water is going to flow through those culverts? How much water is going to flow under that bridge? They want to make sure that what is designed to go out there is going to handle the runoff. And that the bridge or the culvert isn't going to wash out again, when you have your next big storm. They can do the environmental part. When you're anytime you're working in the water or the wetlands, you need environmental permits, and an engineer can help with that. And they can do some of the preliminary design drawings for the project. and of course, we need to know how much it costs. The other piece of a grant application is something FEMA calls a benefit cost analysis. They want to know that their money that they're spending is going to a good project. So they weigh, like the scales of justice, they weigh the cost of the project on one side against the loss the town's experienced on the other side. How many times does the highway department have to go out and fix this spot in the road because it floods time and time again? Also, they look at what's the loss of the use of that road. You know, if people can't drive all the way through and they have to detour through Groton or through Canaan, you know, what's the inconvenience for the loss of the use of that road? And they weigh these factors back and forth, and hopefully they come up with a positive ratio that says, yes, this project is viable, it's economically suitable for this money. But those are numbers. Those numbers can be tweaked, you know, just like the scales. You can adjust. Maybe the project's a little too expensive. Where could we cut some corners to bring the cost down a little bit? Maybe we haven't found enough expenses on the town side, so maybe we dig a little bit more and find out some more expenses. We get a little more cost. But that's our role. Whitney's role, my role, is to work. If the town decides to apply, we would work with the town, work with your engineer and your grant writer, whatever.
Yep.
To help you through the process. I mean, we just don't want people out there trying to wing it on their own. I mean, we also work with FEMA, and you know, we're trying to get the best project possible. The two things we can do to help the town in the meantime is, certainly there are other communities in the state that have done these similar projects. We can put the select board and your highway department in touch with these communities to say, hey, who did you use for an engineer? Who did you use for a contractor? Were you happy with their services? Help you with the process. And the other thing we can do, probably in the spring when snow's finally gone and we walk there, we can come out with the FEMA reps from Boston, and these folks, they see projects all over the state, all over New England actually, and do a site visit and look at the project, and they may have some suggestions or ideas. They look at things through a slightly different lens than we do. And, you know, they're not going to promise you the money, but they can say, look, this is an okay project. Maybe this is a little bit better project if you consider doing this. And I'll give you a prime example. Over in Alexandria, a few years ago, they did a couple of projects on Washburn Hill Road. And they were only going to do a project here and a project there. FEMA said, well, you've got 4.5 miles of hill here in between, but the water's still going to come sliding down. Why don't you look at the whole road and see what it would cost to fix the entire stretch with culverts, ditching, and undergrade water bars. And so the town did that, and they put in an application for it, and yes, it was obviously some more money than what they originally were going to do, but it was a successful application, and they've got a beautiful piece of road now that's very well drained. It doesn't wash out after every rainstorm, and you know, and that was the result of having FEMA come up and just talk to them and give them some ideas. And there's nothing saying you have to use a FEMA grant. The state DOT has a bridge maintenance aid program that's state money. I would suggest talking to Nancy Maydo from DOT and see what she has to say about bridge replacement. The town of Rumney just did a nice bridge on Buffalo Road, and that was actually a combination of FEMA money and state money. They put the two grants together, and that really reduced the town's cost for that project. I will say, though, when you use state or federal money, you've got to build to their standards. So I know there's some talk about whether this should be a one-lane bridge or a two-lane bridge. If you go with state and federal money, you're going to have to build to their standards. And if that's something the town's not interested in doing, you know, you need to let your select board know that. But obviously the cost is more on the town if you don't use the grant money. Makes sense?
Yeah.
So, Whitney and I are here to answer any questions about the program. That's a very, very quick down and dirty on it, but, you know. Michael?
Is this something that EMD should be involved in?
Absolutely.
From beginning to end?
EMD and your highway department,
Okay.
and, you know, it should be a team approach.
Okay.
We recommend that it's not just fault on any one person's shoulders.
Right.
I mean, it's a complex project, putting in a bridge.
Just want to make sure where everybody can be contacted and everybody's there.
And, you know, engineers, they make their money off of big projects. You don't need to build necessarily a custom bridge just for Progress Road. There are a lot of very good pre-engineered bridges that just drop in. You got the abutments, you got the deck. wing walls, everything goes in very nice and easy. Hanover's done a couple of those up on Rudsboro Road, and they're about a third of the cost of building a custom bridge from scratch. So when you choose, if you choose an engineer to work with, make sure you tell them, hey, look, let's look at some pre-engineered. That will save the town a lot of money, and you still have a very good bridge out there too.
The one with FEMA and the state.
Any other questions about the project? Did I go too fast?
John, I just want to echo just what you talked about, many of the prefabricated bridges.
Mm-hmm.
I serve as vice chair of the bridge committee for Provinceville,
Okay.
and we're looking into a lot of things. So
Yep.
I've come across one, and I gave it to all the members of the committee. It's ADM bridges. You've heard of them?
I'm afraid I haven't, but
Okay. It's a welding company that makes prefabricated bridges. They do it for a lot of the bridges up in the north country of New Hampshire. And they can come in and have a bridge rated at an HL 93 status, which means it'll take 100,000 pounds. And it would be, but we could probably get it in for, without the abutments, probably without the abutments, just to get the bridge delivered here. And then we have to hire a crane to get it stuff in. We'd probably look at about 70,000. It's not bad.
That's pretty
Not
cheap.
for a span across the south bands of the bay. That's single lane.
Okay, single lane. So
Single lane, but the road's basically single lane.
I understand.
And we can't have an interstate down there.
And I gotta say, you got this big 2-lane bridge, and all of a sudden, whoop, you go to a single lane. But you know, like I say, that's a choice, a decision the town would make. You know.
If it'll help.
But that's a viable alternative, whereas the other one, we're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, woo, and that's pretty brutal.
I know, and this was a few years ago when Hanover did their bridges. They were in the 300 to 350 ballpark.
Yeah.
But I've also seen an engineer come in with a $1 million bridge, and you guys don't need $1 million bridge on Providence, right? I mean, that's plainly
I don't think
obvious.
the taxpayers want $1 million.
Yeah. No, that's a good way to get run out of town real fast. So, but you know, that's what I say. Look at those options, John.
Because there's some controversy about having to do a bridge right away because of residents down there. We have summer people have camps there.
Yeah.
And granted, we want to deal with this. The fact of it is we're not sitting back doing nothing. We're not sitting on a while, we're acting. But the taxpayers have to be thought of too. And if the town just can't cough up the box, it's going to hold things back. Then you have to deal with the fact that the state of New Hampshire, Ridge Aid, will be on the bottom of the list.
It would be, but I don't want to speak for Nancy Mabel. I know there's some sort of a timeline for them where you fit in the funding and the pecking order. I don't know her program as well. I don't know the FEMA one, but that's why I think it would be good to have Nancy come and explain her program. And you know,
Because if we come up with something from you guys, the first bridge, then I spoke with Nancy Mayville, who said we could get you in for some money on the first one. Because with the 80% of the town, that's come up with about $3,000, which is not bad. Then we have to deal with the second bridge. But you can't do the second bridge, so you do the first one, because that's all, you're always going to be hauling more than 6 tons of it.
And the Romney project, I don't know if I said this, if I am, I apologize. They did a combination of FEMA and state money, which really cut down the town's. The town only had to pay like 5% of the whole project, whatever that was told us. So, I mean that's a really good deal. And Piermont did a similar thing. FEMA and state combined for a bridge on Indian Pond Road.
So do you think the grants would be available probably July, August, September?
Well, right now we don't have any HMGP because we don't have a disaster going in the state.
Okay.
And the PDM, we don't know. New White House, we don't know what the federal government's going to come out with. We're still. But you think we'll know in September, October what we might have?
I'm hoping by the end of the summer, early fall.
Yeah. But in the meantime, if you're going to go ahead, have these conversations. If you're going to get an engineering company to come in and start looking at design, you've got time to build this up because you basically, whenever the grant comes out, if you have the project, as they say, shovel ready. Its package is done. You understand what the costs probably are roughly going to be, and because there'll be like a 30-day window to apply.
Yeah, it's usually depending on the specific grant, but it's 30 to 60 days.
Yeah, it's a very. You don't want to start designing and building doing all the environmental stuff, you know, as soon as you see the notice from us, you want to have that stuff done and ready to go.
All right, so it'd be best if we're gonna get a jump start that way for the right?
And some of those, now, of course, engineers cost money. I can't promise this, so don't say Paul Hatch said it, but
No.
we have in the past been able to help some towns with the engineering costs if you are successful with a FEMA grant. The part of that, percentage of that could be, town could be reimbursed.
Okay,
But FEMA's a moving target,
yeah,
so, you know, if something comes down in July and they decide, we're not gonna do this anymore. Okay, but it has been that carrot in the past that we've
right.
been able to help towns with some of those costs too.
So-
The key is good documentation, good record keeping. You know, because if you do, they're gonna wanna see invoices, receipts, cancel checks, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You gotta do, right with me?
So would we be notified when the grants will be available?
Yeah, so, once we receive a notice of funding opportunity for PDM grants, we send it out, actually, field services will send out on their list or email or call and let you know to submit your letter of intent for the project, and then we'll go through that and it has a mitigation area, and, if it looks like a good project, then we'll ask you to start the mitigation process.
Yeah, a letter of intent is just, it doesn't commit the town to doing the grant, it just says we're interested in applying for one, this is our project. It just kind of puts you on our radar screen and we know to get back to you.
Yes, and you can submit that at any time, even if there isn't funding available,
Okay.
which is something to kind of voting, so we don't have any other potential projects in the state for when
Okay.
funding is available.
Now, normally we work through your EMD, but I can also copy Anna at the town office so that she sees the email as well,
Okay,
just for that redundancy if you'd like.
yeah, plenty of documentation. I'm all about documentation.
And nowadays virtually everything is online. When I first started, we all had paper applications, and now everything is digital and online, so.
Okay. Any questions?
Any questions at all? Anybody else? But do explore all options.
Yeah.
You know, look at, you know, FEMA is FEMA. We try to make the square peg fit the round hole, and
Right.
we've helped a lot of communities. We'd like to help Dorchester if we can. You may look at Nancy DOT, you may look at other stuff. John's options, you know, certainly.
So once we got the survey done and the research done on the water flow, we could go ahead and send copies of that to you guys?
No, hold on to everything, because that all goes in with the application. Any of the drawings and whatnot, you know, will be attached to the application.
Okay.
Hold it to submit it as shovel ready.
Yeah.
Right. And actually FEMA likes the fact that you're doing your due diligence, that you're putting money away in the bridge reserve fund, that you're looking at different options, because they compare, you know, you've got the one-lane option, maybe you do a two-lane bridge, or, you know, and I mentioned a custom bridge, which is, you know, so you've looked at all different options, and this is the best proposal going forward, that, you know, FEMA likes to see that the town is taking their time and studied this and hopefully done it right.
No more questions?
These are all my questions.
Well, I want to thank you guys. If you don't have anything else to say, coming out.
No,
do a presentation.
and feel free to reach out to us at any point in time. We're always welcome to come back, you know, and sit down, you know, in further detail. You know, because, like I say, if you do an application, we want to have the best project possible. It's, you know, these days of just aiming and shooting, though, that doesn't work anymore.
No.
You know, so.
Well, thank you guys very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Okay, brochures, explain from.
I have a couple of announcements to make. First one is, there is a selectman's position available, so if anybody would be interested, give your name to Anna for consideration, please. And the second is, for residents to call 911 for address verification. Can you go more on that?
Okay, what the residents have to do, they have to call 911, tell them this is a test, and make sure the addresses line up with the phone number.
Okay.
That should be done once a year.
motion to review the minutes.
Second it?
Minutes of February 21st, 2017. Any questions?
I have none.
All in favor to approve the minutes of February 21st?
Aye.
Aye. And the minutes for March 23rd are not ready at this point,
She said she'll get them sent over to us tonight or tomorrow morning.
so we'll review them and approve them at the next meeting. Okay, moving on to financial. Make a motion to review the manifest, approve the manifest. One second.
Second it?
Any questions?
From here.
I have one question. Town and Country reprographics.
That was the printers for the
Annual report.
annual reports.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Motion to approve the manifest.
Second it?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Who's doing the treasury today?
No, because she, yeah,
Okay.
she needs to.
Thank you. Now, the second thing on the agenda is budget review for financial, but I'm not prepared to do that tonight. But I did see an email from Artie stating that we have $120,000 left to go through till June, and if we're frugal, we should be in good shape.
Okay.
Any questions?
I just had a question. Why are you taking information from the post treasurer?
It was a report.
Well, the problem is that they were getting a laptop for me, and Artie didn't want to change things over till we had something to put it onto. And also, I've taken the names of the town officials to the bank so we could change the signature cards, but they won't let me sign the card until Margaret gets in and signs them first. Don't ask me.
And the computer is coming.
It was
the 10th.
supposed to be here today, but due to weather conditions, I had received an email, won't be until the 10th.
Till the 10th.
But then I saw one that said the 19th.
I sent a correction, I hit the 9 by accident.
Okay, that sounds bad.
Your answer sounds complicated.
Margaret's confused. Margaret, there's a TV. Huh? There's a TV tray.
Oh, I know, it's just only something all the time.
Okay, we'll move on to the highway report. Paul, would you please come up and give us a report on highway?
Who wants to know what?
Work that has been done the last couple of weeks.
Plow, plow, plow. Everybody knows.
Repair.
Repair. You use the truck, you work on the truck. You use the truck, you work on the truck. We're getting it to the point of where I got a pretty good guy working at the highway shed now. I don't know if you know Stan or not, but he's helping us out tremendously with the repair on these trucks.
And so have you.
Pardon?
And so have you.
Thank you, ma'am. I tried, but there's limits to my
I know.
capabilities now, so. But he's willing to try. I don't care what it is. And I think between my head and his, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah. So what
We
do you
fixed something today that I just can't imagine why anybody would buy a $100,000 piece of equipment in Dorchester, New Hampshire, and not put a block heater on it.
Oh.
And when the machine was bought, it would have been installed for nothing. And the part cost $93. Stan put it on in 2 hours. That's the kind of stuff that we're running into, and if that machine don't run, we had times this winter where we had to park that outside because of truck failure. And thank God it did that. It's a John Deere, why wouldn't it? But stuff like that is fighting this. And it's fighting that, it's fighting repairs on stuff that you know has got to be fixed, because that's what you got to use. And I do apologize the last storm, we didn't get around past it. I'm a big boy, hit me, I don't care. I'm going to keep trying for you. And I don't know. We're trying. We got one back today, and we dropped one off of repairs of safety equipment that has got to be brought up to date on these trucks. Fortunately, we live in Dorchester, and it's good we do it, because nobody's looking at us as far as the guys that can hurt you. So, little by little, things are coming. I do hope you can get yourself a good road agent someday. I put a lot of emphasis on Stan. He's young, he lives right close by, and he's willing to work. And it ain't all I. He does realize that there's no I in team. And that to me means a lot. Yes,
Well, how many trucks do we have operating?
Say how much?
Okay, we got the pickup back today. We got that fixed up to the point where it will pass inspection now. We
Was
dropped it.
it inspected? Did they inspect it?
They inspected it to September,
Right.
which that's what it was supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So in September, it should pass, because I hope nothing happens between here and
Yeah.
there. The international old one is over there now. They're hoping to get that back to us by Monday. And that's in for check the brakes and backup alarm and stuff like that. The newest international has got to go for emergency lights that don't work. Wiring problems with the back end of the truck, it's a glob, and it's all green. So that's going to be a rewire, and I don't know how long it's going to take. There's no way of giving a time limit on that. It's going to cost us money as well. So, but the running gear on the newest international, after the last hurrah, it cost us $10 million, is working very well. No more problems with running gear. So far, knock on wood.
No, that will need a backup alarm too?
Yes, that. And I still think that's part of the problem with the wiring in the back of the truck.
Yep.
And then the Chevy took that out and rolled, actually, I accidentally hit the button that made the window go down. It's automatic. And then the window would come back up. So we ran around with that the rest of the day with the window open. But Stan was able to troubleshoot it. It was nothing more than a switch that cost us $53, fixed it in-house. So that's back on the road again. And that is doing fairly well with the money that we put into that truck. but it's gonna be used as a 10-year-old truck. It can't be used as an everyday truck. That's what Stan and I are trying to figure out, is what capabilities we have. And I pity you poor people for having to do this, but here we are. We don't quit. So,
Paul, the truck that's in the shop, are they gonna go through front and back thoroughly?
no.
No.
Yes, they are.
But did you call them?
Yes, I called them, they're gonna check everything.
There's your answer.
They're gonna check the state of it. We'll see if the other.
Okay.
And they gave us a report on, the truck, the Ford that he just picked up, as to what they could foresee might go wrong with that.
Okay. So how much did they charge us to go through that truck and find that out?
I don't know. I haven't
Under
seen
$400. And then check it.
Or is that checking it and?
That's fixing,
They had to do some inspection work to it.
yeah, actually, all the brake lines in the back of that truck are brand new,
Right.
because they were all rotted off.
Good.
New emergency brake. What else was it, Stan? There was some wiring issues there too, wasn't there?
In the Ford?
Yeah.
No, there wasn't any wiring. It was just they had to do a sticker, they had to do the rear brake lines and the e-brake. And that was it. They just went from front to back and checked it
And
to
then they
make sure
checked
it
it
passes.
back.
They said it'll pass no problem in September.
Yeah.
So that could make it real good.
In the back, line works on that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. We good. And I checked with them on the grader. They're still trying to locate a couple of parts. The worker that was working on it has gone on vacation. He's supposed to be back Monday. Then he's going to give me a call about where everything is with it.
So they'll give you an estimate of the cost?
Right. But there was a couple more pieces, wheel cylinders, I believe, that he was trying to locate.
I got a question for you
Okay.
and the town. Wentworth is very close to Dorchester. And they're gonna be starting grade roads very close to where we got a couple roads that really need grading. How would you like to try to work something out with them? And I noticed the Wentworth road agent is here. No, I have not talked to him about this. But I got kind of an in with him. So my son does work there. And I just want to throw it out here. They got a real good grader and they got some good grader operators. And we could work with them as far as getting them material and stuff. If the town went with leaving do it, I have not approached them. This is just something that I want. I'd like some conversation on it.
Yeah.
Our grader sitting over there with tires all off and it is not doing us any good. So.
No, but I'm hoping that it's at a point where where once we get a price, we'll know one way or the other whether to fix it or to do something different. But that is an idea to the table.
We also have Groton that offered theirs too.
I didn't even know Groton had a grader. Really?
When it's over on River Road.
I mean, why can't we use both towns? We don't even have one right now. It'd be nice to actually get shown how to run a grader properly by people that do it for a living.
Number one, we have to see what the charge would be. Number two, we have $153,000 left in the highway budget. Give or take.
Yeah, and you better take about 70 grand of that away.
Yeah.
And not and forget it's there.
Do you have
because
gravel
that's
on
your
site?
fund.
Yeah.
We do.
Miss Carol does.
I got a question for the select board. Now, we knew that all these trucks on the highway department were badly needed repairs, correct?
Yep.
My question is this, why did you cut your budget by $10,000?
To meet a flat tax.
That's not really answering my question. The only service we get in this town is the highway department. I've been here 16 years, and my opinion is they've been micromanaged for all that time, and you're running a hostile work environment. That's my opinion. I want to know why.
Well, we had to move money around, from here to there. I mean, we even took money from emergency management and shifted money around. Because of the school tax that was raised $3.30, we didn't want to have to raise it X amount and pump another $1 or $2 up on the taxes.
Like I told you, the biggest emergency we have here is the roads.
Correct. I agree
We
with
gotta
you.
take care of, we haven't kept a road agent here in ages, and you can go back 16 years, and I think that the road agents are being micromanaged by the select board. And I don't believe that's what they're supposed to do. If I had worked for this town, I would have filed an EEOC a long time ago. You gotta let these guys, that know what they're doing, do their job, stop micromanaging.
Maybe the last guy, but I wouldn't say the guy all around. They needed to be micromanaged more. You wouldn't have the
Yeah.
mechanical problems that you're having now, spending money.
All right.
Well, I actually have got,
But that is micromanaging them. They put him in control.
GID rates.
Just wondering if the greater thing, I know you're waiting on the estimate for it, which has been an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
There's stuff, everything going on. Is it something that we put out to bid maybe? Call the neighboring towns or just put in the paper? I mean, I
As
don't
far
know.
as,
To do the grading in town. I know there's a short time limit on it right now, but even just for a week.
that may be what we do. It's gonna be a while right now before we can do it anyways, because the frost has to finish come out of the ground.
It's almost out.
Yeah.
This week it'll be out.
Anyone willing maybe from the town to show Sam how to run it, I'm sure there's a lot more involved than just, you know,
There's
one
a
or two
state run
bids.
class from UNH that will show them how to run a grader. That's
One
what
that's
both
in the
my
next
guys
week.
do. It's in May, I believe.
Oh,
I'd have to
really?
look on the sheet.
And the wheel cylinders real quick too, I don't know if they have rebuild kits for them or not. In my years in the automotive and parts world, there's a couple places that are really, really good, trying to find parts, even if you're helping out the garage to find them.
If they can't find them reasonably priced, then they will look at rebuilding the wheel cylinders, but it depends on the condition of the wheel cylinders too. If it's had water in it and there's rust pits in it and stuff, then they may not be able to rebuild them, so.
It just seems like it's been an awfully long time that this grader's sitting there.
Yeah, what's been out, it's been sitting outside, so with the real cold weather, they couldn't work on it. And there was no need of hurrying through it during the middle of winter either.
And it's,
But the back on it now, and
there's a York rate, a highway department.
Yeah.
Okay.
yes.
It's worn out.
It's worn out, it won't even make it.
It needs probably $3,000 worth of teeth on it, and that's gotta happen. You can't just run it up and down the road for the sake of people to see it, that's ridiculous.
The York rate's not a grader.
No, I know,
That's designed to
but,
get big stuff out of the road.
It's a Band-Aid.
but to help,
right,
I mean, our driveways are in desperate need of help, so.
yeah.
I can imagine the rest of those, but.
When you get ready to cut below the potholes and smooth it.
I just have a question, from the meeting 2 weeks ago, what we discussed actually as a town agreed upon was to get an assessment of the equipment to see what place it's at and is at, and on the aside from the grader, which obviously we just discussed, is the rest of the stuff getting assessed too, or?
Yes, we're starting to do that now, because the vehicles have gone down to have work on, they're looking them over to tell us what shape they're in.
And then we were gonna determine from that point in time what we should do.
Yeah.
Whether, like, what he says, I mean, it always sounds like could be headed towards, hiring stuff out. And that makes sense to me, if we don't have stuff that we can use, so.
I can see hiring some stuff out, but we have an employee to think about too,
Well, there's maintenance for him as well, but
for
just
employees.
in that process too, it's like, the complete rate to bond that activity and make sure it's done properly, so,
Right.
we're not stuck in a position like with our own road agent from previous years where the work's done and it's not done at a certain speed or at a certain qualification, and it's
Right.
junk, so, it's a common practice to actually bond, workers like that, so
Yep.
I'd like to have that
I
included
agree
in
with you.
the subcontractor work that happens.
I do agree with you on that.
Now, where are we at as far as looking for a new
highway session tonight, I was gonna make a motion to, create an ad and get it put into the paper for road agent.
Okay, so can we set a deadline date to put that in the paper?
Well, let's do this. I make a motion to create an ad for road agent and put it in the appropriate papers to look for a road agent.
Okay, I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now you can create the ad and approve it at the next selectmen's meeting,
Okay.
and then place it.
Okay.
And then place it for a month, and have a deadline of a month.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
From the account.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Can I talk with you people before you make that ad?
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
2 weeks ago, at the last week, I think we took a vote here, and everybody in the hall agreed that we wanted the select board to approach Evan and ask him to reconsider. Has that been done?
We sent him an email. He has not responded.
Anybody called him, or, I know he's someone local, lives in town?
He don't answer for calls.
You're not trying very hard. are you?
Stop it. Just as a friendly, or if somebody who's neutral who's willing to do it on behalf, just to open the line of communication.
I've already asked someone to do that and no response.
It's lack of effort on your part. I talked to him 3 days ago. I didn't have to look him up at it.
Well,
You guys
just don't
haven't
wanna
tried anything.
drive to the man's house. But,
Yeah,
I saw him on the side of the road.
it's here in town.
yeah.
When was that email sent?
When did you send that on?
Top of my head.
Okay, whenever that was voted on at that meeting, the last board meeting,
That was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Then we had the non-public the following Wednesday. It
And
was
and then we,
the following Thursday.
right. And we
After,
voted it in the regular meeting.
yeah.
3 days ago, he told me he talked to a lot of people that were in that meeting, but never was talked to by a selectman. So your efforts are pretty weak.
Well, I can drive to his house, I have no issue, but some people has issues with people driving to their house.
Well, if you're his boss, you should be able to do that. I would, any one of my selectmen can come to my place anytime they want to.
He did email him though.
Email's weak.
A personal appearance means a lot more than an email.
Yeah.
When you're looking for someone to come back to work that left on bad terms of some sort. I'm sure Larry knows where he lives, he drives by every day.
Maybe he's not interested in coming back to
The
work.
guy has a mind, he's made a decision, I don't think the selectmen are supposed to be in a persuasive, situation to try to persuade employees back to work when they've already made their mind up.
Oh, it's too
You know,
late.
it's like, it's not your job to do that, so it's like continue your search and move on to the next guy. Obviously, he does not want to be here, plain and simple. You know, I mean, that's not evident, I don't know what is, this is plain as, plain as. It's not our job to ask him to try to come back and wish him like the best interest and all this sort of stuff. I like the guy, he's a really awesome guy, he's a good person, but he does not want to work here, obviously. Some things happen along the course of his events here, and he does not want to be here.
Well, I did hear that he's got another job.
Oh, yeah, he's already, I mean, yeah, he's got.
Actually, he had the other job before he even went
Great,
on vacation.
yeah, so, I mean, all this is
What I
like
hear.
a waste of our addiction and our time, trying to persuade somebody who does not want to be here to come back here. And I don't think that's the selectman's job, and simply, you have much more things to do.
Mr. Carroll?
You're gonna put the ad in the paper. It took us 6 months to get the last road agent. How long is it gonna take us to get a road agent?
It is not gonna take the 6 months because we're not going through the committee. Once they turn in the applications, Larry and I will sit down and go through them and get them in ASAP for interviews.
Well, don't you think somebody like Paul here,
Yeah.
that's got some expertise in the matter, should look over these applications?
I know.
He could be involved in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't live here.
That's good. Okay.
I don't live very far away, but I don't live here, and I think it should be a person
We,
that's hooked to the town.
I believe
I'm
we're
not
glad to
trying to beat my
entertain
way out of it.
his views on it.
Your expertise in the
I
hiring.
don't mind doing it, but
You are hooked to the town. You work here.
You work in the town part-time, so.
and I've enjoyed it.
And you're doing a good job, Paul.
Thank you.
Well, I greatly value Paul's thoughts on it.
Just a question, I've seen Sam a few times, I do know him from the past. One of the things is, and even seeing Paul, always smiling. When you go by my house, it's wonderful, and I've talked to Sam briefly this morning about the 70-degree weather we're gonna have next week on Tuesday. Would it might be cheaper in the long run to offer him training if he's interested to be a road agent?
He's getting it.
The biggest problem.
Yeah, but, and is
That's
there
why he's
anything else
working
you
with Paul,
need
right?
for it?
I would be more than willing to send him to any class he wants to go to.
Yes. But does he
Even
want
offered,
it?
you know.
The biggest problem I have with if people want to make me a road agent is I have absolutely no experience doing this type of work. I've never done a culvert. I've never plowed before this winter. So I just don't have the experience. I'm willing to learn. I'll go to any class you want to send me. I'll sit down with any other road agent from any town. I'll try as hard as I can to help make this town better. That's what I'm here for. I'm a small town person. I
That will
love it.
make you have more experience.
Absolutely.
That can eventually lead you into a road agent.
And having other towns possibly oversee or help out or working on a deal, just something. I know it's like learning a new job, and if you're willing to dive in and
I'll help with what I can.
say hi
but
to
I've got
everybody
bosses
going down
too.
the road, even if we're swearing and cussing
Yeah.
as we go by. You know, and to be able to still smile, it's a great.
Well, I mean, it's been stressful from day one, but I'm not ever thinking about leaving. I mean, every job has stress, but I mean, I want to get through it and I want to help everybody out. I mean, that's what I'm here for.
I have a question, Seth.
I have an answer.
I just said, Stephen, I just think the town should spend the small amount of money it would take to train him as an accessory road agent right now to get the training, so he has the background, even if he's never done it, at least knows somehow how to do it without doing it, and then go from there if he wants to stick around as the maintainer, so we don't have to have a search for a maintainer as well as, hire a partner if you don't decide to go private.
That's why he's been working with experienced maintainer in the road guy.
Yeah, they still
learn
get the
stuff.
certification, right? Placing people and all that sort of stuff.
Well, Sam, I know you haven't hit your 90 days yet.
Yeah,
Do you feel secure in your job?
not at all.
Good.
Good answer.
Yeah, no, thank you for the honesty. Because I think, you're right, I think he's doing a really good job, but let's not throw him to the wolves. Let's not hire him and say, good job, we're gonna train you for 6 more months, because that's not fair. This is really hard, I think we have a great potential, but let's give him some really good ground time to do this right. So
Exactly.
hire someone that's been around a little bit longer and knows
Right.
more.
It's like even as an accessory, you should have that knowledge. He's going to be the backup. He's supposed to be able to facilitate anything that the road agent can do. Drive anything, doing it. That's what I guess, what you described to us. I can do anything the road agent can do.
Would you like to express why you don't feel secure?
Well, so we've already touched on both grounds tonight on how some people want to subcontract all the work out,
Right.
which is understandable. I mean, we've had a couple road agents that have really kind of screwed the town over. But at the same time, I mean, in the long run, it's going to be cheaper to train someone who's willing to stay and do it correctly every year. And with you guys talking about wanting to subcontract, what am I going to do? I'm the only full-time person here. If you subcontract all the work, what am I going to do?
If you subcontract the grading,
Right.
your spring grading, that's what you gotta worry about. Don't worry about the next time. By that time, he'll be hands-on and learning. He's not, it's a 2-day class up in Twin River,
Grading.
Twin Mountain,
Or, what's the 2-day class on? Grading lots. Okay.
grading. It's a 2-day class. He's not gonna learn, he'll learn the basics.
Yeah. Right.
Learning how to do it is gonna be on site. It's not gonna be.
You learn it by doing it, right? After you
So maybe sub it out, and I'll talk to the selectmen in Wentworth about what Mr. Smith is talking about. Adrian mentioned it earlier today.
Thank you. Yeah. Paul's name.
Sorry, Mr. Smith. But anyway, the UNH classes are good. I've been taking them. All of our guys have taken them. And I think they're $60 a class. Well worth it. It's a day, it's five hours long, get 5 credits for each day. So you can work towards roll scholar or whatever. That's a whole nother ballgame, something to get into. But, yeah,
The fact is, it's not wasted time. They do train.
yeah, they train. It's not a waste by any means. And on a more personal note, I think that this select board here should maybe shadow the select board over where I work, because they're a class act. You guys need some help.
I'm new, and
All done.
I will agree with you.
You know what? You can talk to any one of them over there. They'll talk to you. You can go to their house and do it. Steve came to my house after they fired Mr. Stockwell. And so did Wentworth's agent, came to my yard as well. Don't be afraid to knock on the door.
So Sam, would these classes be something that you would want to go to?
So back in 2009, I went to ATS down in Brentwood, and I learned how to run a grader, excavator. I took an 18-week course in that, but that was in 2009. So I'd be more than willing to go to any class you want to send me to. My biggest issue is I need to know my job's secure. I don't want to be doing all these classes and then be fired in 6 months because you want to get rid of the position.
The last grader class I took was in 1980.
Wow, here we go.
About the same age as your grader.
No, it's 1956.
Oh,
You think that'd be
Fine if it didn't have
I don't think it is.
I mean, Mike and I already went to one
Myself,
class.
I have no intent on getting rid of you.
That's good to hear.
But
Selectmen change, towns change,
Yep.
clientele changes, and I don't know of anybody that'll hire a person and guarantee them a job.
Right.
You gotta earn it, and you are. And I've told you that right to your face. I praise people when they, and there isn't enough of that.
That's right.
and I'm not guaranteeing a job. I'm just saying.
I don't think you're gonna find a road scholar person walk through the door and say they wanna be a road agent.
Right.
Not in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
After a while.
And then the ones we get, we can't afford.
Yeah, probably just design it so that you have a road agent maintainer who's gonna run in-house stuff. I mean, all the stuff that's never getting taken care of, like the maintenance on the meter amount of equipment that we would have if we went privatized.
Right.
You know, and maybe have at least a one-time to pick up, you know, just like you said, spending $100 million on trucks that roll over and we don't need and all of those sort of crap and get abused. And, you know, just to have someone to actually run the yard and to be responsible for like some summer maintenance, that sort of thing. So I think there's a job for like a maintainer, but as far as it comes to like the 6-wheelers and the big plows and heavy-duty snow maintenance contracting, you know, might be worth looking into to subcontract it out. But you could still, I mean, we already have all that over there. Someone's got to take care of it. You know, I mean, it's still useful. I mean, make it more useful, but there's still things that have to happen on a daily basis that we wouldn't want to have to subcontract out.
Well, I know if we do it on a full-time basis, that has to go to a town meeting to be voted on.
Mm-hmm.
To subcontract it, we can only subcontract for 5 years and it has to be brought back.
Just food for thought, you know, it's
Yeah.
just like, I mean, I don't know how, I don't think it'd be good to have a subcontractor come in and try to maintain what we have over there for a base station, basically.
Yeah.
I think there's gonna have to be someone there to say, okay, this is where it all is, and you guys come in and we'll get you, you know, set you up and we'll follow you around in case you need cleanup or whatever on a small truck. But we're not spending like hundreds of thousands of dollars on all this equipment that gets abused. Year after year.
We would still need a road agent to one degree or another, regardless. You'd still have to have somebody to direct the subcontracting, if that was the case.
Yes, well,
We
that's
still
the
need
main
training to
Yeah,
do it.
and again, I mean, I don't know if we have to give them that classification that's necessary if it's,
Come down to my office tomorrow, you have to report to the classes.
Definitely. What time is it?
We had a road agent here back a few years ago, Tiny.
6 in the morning, or
He took excellent care of these
before
roads.
about in the afternoon. Guaranteed.
Oh,
I've had occasions to go into all the 5 towns in Mascoma School District. Summer, winter, spring, and fall, and our roads were the best time with the road agent. He was good on the road, he did other things, and that's why he lost his job. My belief is you have a good road agent. Sam, in my opinion, would be a good one. You got another maintainer and trainer. If you sub it out, that contractor is not gonna have the best interest of the town at heart. He's gonna be looking for the dollar. That's my
Absolutely.
opinion.
Yeah.
that's what they be bonded to be accountable for their work. That's the whole reason, as soon as you hire a contractor, it's bonded. It's like waters have to be bonded on some roads. If you think that we're gonna mess them up, if I go and file on North Dorchester Road and you think I'm gonna rip that road apart, you can put a $5,000 bond on me. I'm not even a town employee. You know, it's like you, for proof of performance.
Yeah.
That's what that is, when the town's responsible for doing it.
The only thing I think right now that we would have to worry about for subcontracting is we had got bids last fall, but there were 5 culverts. 2 of them collapsing and 3 of them dangerous that we got bids on doing, and I think it would be wise for us to go, if they would honor the bid still, go ahead with having them do that work. That way the culverts are done and done correctly and over with. But other than that, at this point, I don't see where we need to subcontract anything else.
Do you think it would be maybe cheaper to talk with Brian and AJ, since they have experience with that? As far as installing the culverts, us renting the excavator?
I don't know.
You're talking about they're getting subcontract.
Right, but at a cheaper rate.
You're subcontracting to people that don't have the equipment to do it with, so they're gonna use the town equipment or rent equipment.
We would possibly rent.
Yeah.
I get check the insurance company, see if that's gonna work.
Well, that's the whole thing.
Actually, yeah, I believe it will.
If it's some kind of subcontractor, you want them to be responsible for that. You want them to be with their equipment, you want plain and simple.
Their insurance.
We want only equipment. If we have the equipment, then we have a raise and we do it ourselves. That's the whole differentiation. It's like we're clear of the equipment ownership, all the maintenance, all the breakdowns, all that sort of stuff. And if we're not gonna snow, then we contract out and we're not paying anything, you know?
Do you think, was it Conkey?
Yes.
Do you think he would do that at the same price?
I believe I'm gonna email him to see if he would still honor that price, and it was like $12.8 to do all 5 culverts. And that's with asphalt on top of them afterwards too. And a few of them, you have to use necessary. So, yeah, that's why we're trying to do it, is for 5 culverts to be done for just under 13,000, I thought that was very good.
But you're supplying the.
We're supplying this, yeah, he's using our gravel from the pile that we have, the stone that we have, and the culverts that we already have for him. So it's all cost service. Yeah. But he makes the
Supply
asphalt.
with the trucking and everything's all.
Asphalt and all the labor and trucking and stuff.
The yard, asphalt's pretty expensive. So over $3 a yard, isn't it?
But you're not tying up your highway department while he's doing that job.
Right,
That's the plus side there.
right.
You can go see how it's done.
It's done right, and if it's not, it's bonded, so we have to come back and fix it. Plain and simple, we don't have to argue with the road agent, and say, well,
Right.
you didn't fix it right, and then, I don't have to fix it right.
And he's insured, so everything's covered.
You know how much insurance he carries?
I'm sorry, yeah,
Do you know how much insurance he has?
I imagine it's at least $1 million.
Okay.
I think you'll find out he's got close to 10. He's a
Probably.
big outfit.
Yeah.
truck
all the
out
insurance and
there.
stuff was already verified, it was all set for him to do the work, but then we came into the cold and the frost, so.
Right, it came too quick.
Couldn't do it, right.
Or maybe we can have the answer from him by the next meeting, and we can go ahead and make a decision on it.
Yep.
Now, how willing do you think you would be to let me help him out?
I don't know.
That I don't know.
man.
I have no clue on that, Sam.
You probably set something up.
That's what I was thinking. I mean,
You could at least be there and see how it's done.
yep, I don't have to technically help, but I can be there and watch and take notes and figure it all out step by
Well,
step.
honestly, I think it would be great for you,
Absolutely.
myself.
Education.
Right.
Exactly.
Hands-on.
Even if you're not there continuously, see when it's
Well,
dug
official
down,
sidewalk super.
see the base.
What?
Be an official sidewalk super.
Yeah.
Every job has one.
Okay, any other questions on highway? Okay, move on to old business. Mike, province survey ad bid?
Yeah, we have a scope of the work.
Right, folks?
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a scope of the work in our folders that John Franz put together. I would like to make a motion that we put an ad.
Thank you very much, Dick.
Have a good day, guys.
Thank you.
That will be closed bids.
Nice. Good job. Keep it
And
up.
then we can go ahead and get the review of the well. That will come from the bridge fund. And then once we apply for the grant, 75% of that can be rolled back into the grant.
Right.
So,
As far as those, yeah.
okay, wait a second, any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. John, is this something that you would like to be involved in once it starts?
Not the province road.
Yes.
I'd like to just be informed of what's going on, and how
Okay.
things are going. I
Okay.
think the whole committee would like to be.
Could you contact Mr. Green on that and see what,
I'm sorry, what?
I said, could you contact Mr. Green
Yeah,
about that?
sometimes he's a catch on mosquito.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could.
We'll send him an
But
email.
I'd like to know that you will keep us appraised of what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does that have to be a bridge or could it be a culvert?
Right, culvert.
Culvert's a lot cheaper than a bridge.
Yeah, first one is a culvert. So,
We're talking about a bridge. I'm just wondering if it could be a culvert.
Probably a box culvert would be the first one.
Box culvert or a bridge.
Right now, it's nothing more than an old steam pipe.
so hopefully we can have that ad put together, put in the paper by next week. So you want to run it for like 30 days, you want to run it for 3 weeks?
The ad for radio?
For the survey,
Go monthly.
a month? Okay.
Well, because some papers are, that's only 4 times.
Right, okay. So we'll set a deadline date, they mail them in, they will be open at a public meeting, because it's going to be such a large
Yep.
amount of money.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now we're going to move on to new business. And we're going to do some of the annual appointments tonight. And I just handed this file tonight, so I'm trying to go through and pick through. Okay, we're going to take a short recess, and then we'll come back with the appointments after the short recess.
Jackie, looks like you're getting a lot of coverage now.
Good stuff. Hopefully it'll bring some new
Was
spots.
that just photo the other day?
Oh, it's on my wall.
Put it on the water. I agree.
Yeah, that's a good cheap. Smart dog.
It's hard just getting the cuts up there by myself.
Then you just have to keep cutting up with that a lot.
Oh, it does. That's why I think forever. With the signs up. Yeah, I didn't do anything elaborate yet. I need to really get that gable end up just so that I can start around the front. That's what I'm doing. 12. Yeah, it's still clears right off nice. Gets it far enough away. Put extension from my raft. I extended my rafters out. So. Yeah, all around my house, 3 feet around the edge. Put foam board around my foundation of the garage. So space like this and stays constantly. Yeah, go wherever in there, no problem. Use anything else. Sticks, stones. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I have an extensive photo. I haven't brought my camera up for a while. Big projects and then start finishing it back and get some music pictures. I take good all over just for to try to see. So if there's a problem, just go set this and do something. So here you go. Oh, yeah, I know. There'd always be something that it was. You know, and you get some really functions that are put in the porch. Porch on the front. Yeah. Yep. I want to have it because I spent the money on the doors. Like I want to know French doors on the back. I can really use some days. So just jumping out. Yeah, I just didn't have to finish that so I could get it out of keeps me alive. Yeah, I'm gonna finish that, and then when I'm bring probably all the those, I'll just come out from the inside, bring it. Oh, yeah, that's like, yeah, I use that for my roots. Yeah, it's basically tape. You don't really, it's like, you don't put any bitch tape down. It's like the black paper. Yeah, it's works amazing. It's a little, obviously it's pricier, but it has a 30-year warranty, and it's something, it's like 50-degree heat rating. Yeah, it is. It's dense. Yeah, that's definitely the roof sheathing wasn't fun. But I had help. I had one of my friends help me on his scene. No, that's, I wish I could have wanted to do most of it because I didn't have to worry about where, things like that. So the zip system being exposed for even longer, and it doesn't, doesn't flap like those. Yeah, this. So I used to work with that's 23 times there.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting back to order, please.
Oh, yeah.
Order, please. First one to start with is the supervisor checklist.
Sean does that one.
What? She does that?
Yeah.
We don't do that.
No.
Okay.
And Darlene does Liz.
Liz, right, okay. So let's move to. The Historic District Commission members. We have 2 applicants. And there are two positions open. Sherry Coleman and Holly Conkey. I would like to nominate Sherry Coleman.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I'd like to nominate Holly Conkey.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the next is the zoning board of adjustment. David Conkey.
Second it.
I nominate David Conkey.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, deputy treasurer, we have Margaret Currier-LeMay. I'd like to nominate Margaret Currier-LeMay for deputy treasurer.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and on the emergency management director, we have two applicants. We have Rachel A. Legg, and Cookie Hebert. I nominate Cookie Hebert. No second?
I can't.
Okay. Okay, I nominate
I object, if there's an objection,
to,
that nomination of Cookie Hebert.
he didn't second it, so.
I just object from the gallery, I want that on record. I object 100%.
Okay, I nominate Rachel Legg.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, for emergency management deputy, we have John Graydon Legg III. I nominate John Graydon Legg III.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And for HHS director, we have Annalise Tyree. I nominate Anna Tyree, HHS
Second.
director. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay, on animal control officer, I have one applicant, Cookie Hebert. Any second?
Nope.
Okay. And for deputy animal control officer, I have one applicant, Dean Stockwell.
Nope.
Okay. That's all the appointments that we have today to make. We are looking for an auditor, and we are looking for a New Hampshire 911 representative and alternate representative. Actually, we need to do the select board representatives. I nominate Mike to be representative to the planning board.
I'll accept.
And second it.
And second it.
All in favor? Aye. I nominate Conservation Commission. I nominate Mike.
I'll take it.
Mike.
I'll second it.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, let me see what's this.
Historic and ZBA.
Okay.
And permit officer.
I nominate Larry Walker Jr. for Historical Society.
Historic district.
Yeah, district.
I accept. Second it.
Okay. Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Let me see. The next one will be the
ZBA.
ZBA. I nominate Larry Walker Jr.
I accept. Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I nominate Larry Walker Jr. for permit officer.
I accept it. And second it.
Okay. Second. All in favor? Aye. Okey dokey.
I said one more question, please. I've just seen that here come out, I guess, during the meeting, who's the acting chairman of the board?
At the moment, I am acting chairman, and Mike is acting vice chairman.
Okay. Who's that?
Until we find a third member of the select board, and then we will vote for the chairman and vice chairman then.
Just to wonder, because that's the protocol for EMD, is acting chairman.
Right.
Just want to know who it was.
Also, we are looking for 911 reps, and I was informed that it would probably be good for EMD to take that over if they're willing.
Do you have like the requirements for it?
Fairpoint would call and check in with you, and
Any public input?
Two quick things. This is the EMD there. Again, not to go on and on about stuff, but with nepotism, it became family related to the deputy as well. For nepotism, for the deputy and the main EMD. I don't see where that'd be a concern really for it, but.
It's really common for anybody in the fighting world to be multiple classifications as far as a class 1 firefighter, so they can enter a building, a deputy ward, so they can successfully fight basic outdoor wildland fire. And I'm not sure what the nepotism thing is about. It's just like she's classified for what she's supposed to do as compared to the previous EMD who doesn't show up to meetings.
Well, just being family, I didn't know if it was with the deputy too, that could bring into that or anything.
As far as what?
Oh, with the policy, I know there's been a lot of issues in town with the nepotism and things. Just want to make sure that there's no more in town with that. I don't see why.
Yeah, I don't think there'd be any personal gain from us having any issues with.
That's the whole thing. It's like New Hampshire Forest Wildland Services would appreciate anybody, whether it's your whole family, to participate in a voluntary participation to put out forest fire, which is what we do. So you can have as many people on there. If you have 10 people on the family, they can all be wardens or deputy wardens. Because they're the ones who are willing to help. Anyone else who is willing to help in the whole town can sign up too. Anybody here is willing to go fight forest fire, sign up.
I'm having enough time being a selectman.
There you go. We're having a hard time doing forest fire.
Yeah.
Lately.
Any other questions or public input?
Just a quick one. You guys let me know when you want to do a training session on these guys, and I'll get hold of Mr. Wood.
Okay.
And just give me some time frames.
Okay.
And wait from you or Mike, whatever, or from Bob.
Okay.
I'm sure you want to do it after the worst of the weather's gone, so.
Yeah. Okay.
So, what would the answer be on 911 reps?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you on board with Brittany?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to look at it. Oh, address updates?
Yeah.
Which also ties into with everybody calling to make sure.
Makes sense
But
if
it's
you're
also
gonna
for new properties.
I mean, it just ties it all in together.
It's basically, yeah, making it easier for one person to do.
They went over that at the last board of directors meeting at the communication center about how they are trying to really get into that, trying to make responses easier.
Right.
Should she have a 911 listing of the whole town like what they did in the past?
We will get that for her.
Every address has a 911 listing.
We'll get that.
Address and
Right.
Yeah,
We'll get that information and either break it up, drop it off, and
We make it fill out.
who wants to, you probably want to make copies of this.
yeah. Okay, you guys need to fill it out before we can make copies of it. So,
Okay, upcoming events, there's a children's Easter party at 10 a.m. put on by the Grange. Now, what's the date?
This Saturday, I'm sorry, I thought it was on there.
This Saturday? This
Yeah.
Saturday.
I thought I put it there.
No.
My fault.
Okay.
Take what?
we have one other thing to say.
Pardon?
Other thing to say, all the EMP, and long weeks.
Okay, go ahead.
Could we, if you would you please return all EMD books, equipment, whatever to the office no later than Tuesday at 2?
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything pertaining to EMD, emergency management?
I'm ready.
Let me make sure.
You all set, Mike?
I'm all set.
Okay, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.